If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me, so good to me. Yeah, wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me, so good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me, so good to me. Yeah, wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me, so good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me, so good to me. Yeah, wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me, so good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me, so good to me. Yeah, wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me, so good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me, so good to me. Yeah, wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me, so good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me, so good to me. Yeah, wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me, so good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really live it. I don't need no glory, you don't have to know my story. Glad I made it out this world cause this world was never for me. I thought that I was. If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me, so good to me. Yeah, wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me, so good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
How y'all doing? Good. All praise be to the Most High. See a couple of our visitors. How you doing? How you doing? Good to have you again. Indeed, indeed. Yeah. Okay. And the family is here. Let's get into it. The title of this afternoon's lesson: Lot's wife. Lot's wife.
Hey, Bayan, close that door or tell him.
Let's go to the book of Genesis. Chapter 19. Genesis chapter 19, and let's get verse, hold on 1 second. Verse 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 1. And there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your way. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in into him, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat.
So it was a situation, right? You know who Lot is, right? Okay. Lot being whose relative?
Abraham's nephew.
Abraham. You said what's that? Abraham's nephew. All right. So, it says Lot ended up encountering these two, what? Angels. Came as men, right? And he saw them in the street. He said, hey, watch y'all. Come on in. They like, nah, we good. We kind of here on business, right? We'll stay out in the streets. We good. Nah, y'all can't let y'all just come on. I got a house. I got a place where you can rest. And let me feed you. So on. I said, all right, go ahead.
Verse 4, but before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter.
So, had a situation, they decided to come in before the night was over, and they turned in. They decided to, go to bed, so to speak. All of a sudden, there's this commotion, and the house is surrounded, right? Says it's not a bunch of young thugs, as we would probably, said it wasn't just a bunch of YNs. It was young and old. It was old men as well making this commotion surrounding the house. Read.
And they called unto Lot, and they said unto him, Where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them.
So, I'm guessing this probably wasn't the hey type. You know what I'm saying?
That's the penitentiary niggas.
Yes. You said what?
That's the penitentiary.
Yeah, the penitentiary. Yeah, they was thugging. They was like, look, hey, y'all gonna have to come out.
Hey, Bishop, what Fleece Johnson said, we could do this the easy way
or the hard way.
or the hard way. The choice is yours.
Read it one more time.
And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came into thee this night?
So, mind you, they called unto Lot. Why would they call unto Lot? Somebody knew Lot.
He was a resident.
Yeah, he was a resident there, so it's not like they've never been acquainted with Lot. They know this man. So they had to know what type of time Lot was on. For them to call out to Lot and say, hey, I seen two dudes go up and we like that. Bring them out. Read.
And Lot went out at the door unto them and shut the door after him and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly.
So, and that's the crazy thing. Lot said, look, I'm a deal. So you got to get the context. Lot decides, hey, I'll be right back. I got to go outside to defuse this. So mind you, by the time he's closed the door and he's out there, right? They don't want Lot, but they want these two men's. I don't know, may have been a difference between the way Lot looked versus the way they look, maybe. I know one thing that it kind of insinuates, the situation insinuates, is that this had to be somewhat commonplace in that city. So Lot felt like, okay, hopefully I can come outside and diffuse this. I've seen this before. But something was on them strong this particular time. Read.
Behold now, I have two daughters which have not known man.
Hold on. And mind you, Lot had more than two daughters when you read scripture. But these were the two daughters that were not married. Right? They had not known man. He said, look, I'm pretty sure he loved his daughters. He said, yeah, y'all can't do what I know that y'all be trying to do. I know y'all be wanting booty, man booty. I said, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. I got daughters. Let's see what happens.
Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as it is good in your eyes.
Hey, how do y'all feel? Can I be real with y'all? You want me to sugarcoat it, or you want me to be real? How many of us up in here have daughters? How much do we love our daughters? Feeling how we feel today and knowing what we know today, had we found ourselves in a situation like that, how many of us would probably say, you know what, I got a daughter or I got daughters? Probably not many of us, right? Okay. So, what does this tell us? I know y'all ain't gonna walk out and say, oh, I just don't like that. The Bible said. When you hear something in the Bible, it's like, oh, where's he going with this? But it's something you tend to have to swallow, because guess what? It's in that Bible. They got all that other good stuff that you subscribe to that you like, right? So it's not a thing with the Bible in most cases where you're willing to say, you know what, I'm out. That's it. That's the last straw. It's in the Bible. So can we dissect this? Y'all all right with that? How you doing? All right, let's dissect it. Read that one more time, please. Verse 8.
Verse 8, behold now, I have two daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as it is good in your eyes.
Oh, do ye unto them what is good in your eyes. What kind of scenes could possibly be seen throughout Sodom and Gomorrah of these men taking other men? I'm pretty sure that it wasn't some old sensual, oh, I finally got you, baby. Not trying to be too graphic, but I'm pretty sure the way they're coming at him and surrounding the house, and it probably was forceful things that have happened in the city, right? So for him to say, I got daughters. Now, mind you, it's not that he just said, I got daughters, here go my daughters. It's because he knew that these men were special, right? These men happen to be angels. He said, oh, these are the men of the Lord. If nothing else, if he didn't all out know that they were angels, he understood that these are men of the Lord. And I couldn't let anything happen to these men of the Lord on my watch, in my house. So there still had to be this. The Most High knows if I don't know. If I'm unsure, the Most High is sure. He knows and he's able to deliver. But for him to offer up his daughter says what? This is going to be a tough one to swallow for some of y'all. What does that tell us?
He was more committed to righteousness. He was so committed to righteousness that he was willing to give up his daughters to try to force righteousness to happen, try to prevent unrighteousness from happening.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Was there any lawful way for any of those men to take those men? No. Is there even a possibility of there being a situation where something can be done within the context of the law concerning the daughters? Okay. So that's one thing. What else? I'm reaching. What else? Huh?
I heard a breakdown a while ago where he said, the guy said that he basically knew the spirits of the daughters, kind of based on what happened later on in the story.
He probably knew that they were off. I wouldn't probably go that far, but interesting. Go ahead. I wouldn't say that it, that didn't have a part to play in it. But let me say this. Later on, those same two girls, which were his daughters, right, end up doing what in the absence of their mother, which we're going to get to the mother in a minute. What did they end up doing in the absence of their mother?
Violating.
Did they violate law? Conceive child with their own father and actually birth not one nation but two nations of people that are still on this earth today. Okay? Now, the mind of those daughters, once it was a situation where they saw the type of destruction that they saw, which they very well may have believed, well, you know what, this must be the end of mankind. There is no one else to keep mankind going. Maybe they did think like that. Maybe. But what I'm trying to get you to see is that they understood that there was a function of women. Don't get in your feelings. That's not to say that women are only good or only for that function. That's not what I'm saying at all. Far from it. Because we got other stuff that we're going to go and unpack. But that was one of the things I believe it's safe to say and understand, that there was a function of women in general, and they understood what that function was. Is that fair? Fair? So he said, take my daughters. Because they understand, even when they did the wicked stuff that they did with their father after all that destruction that they saw, there has to be procreation, right? There has to be the ability to produce more people, because that's biologically one of the main reasons why a woman exists, right? Is the ability. That doesn't always happen where they do that, right? But that's a part of that package deal. Okay? Hold on to that. Let's read.
Behold, now I have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as it is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing.
So the focus was, don't do anything to these men. Don't violate these men. Now, I know this is a tough one. What do you mean don't violate the men? What about the women? Because we live in a time and in a place where they say, no, we got to protect the women at all costs. Let the men, they'll figure it out. They can fight better for themselves than the women can. Now, mind you, this Bible that you read, that you love, right, that we all say we believe and we follow, right, which I really do, right? Now, don't get it twisted and don't run out of here and say, oh, the Bible is wicked, because during the time of the Maccabees, there's scriptures that says, look, we fight for the law and we fight for our wives and our children. So it's not a situation where throughout this whole Bible, it just endorses that women are nothing. So don't take that and run with that. Contextually, follow along, okay? Follow along with me, all right? Commit yourself. Everybody take your seatbelt and put your seatbelt on, all right? Listen, read.
Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof.
Go ahead.
And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them? And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door.
So now they getting rough with him. They threatening him. We're going to do worse to you if you don't get out the way. And he like, no, I can't let you do this. And now they getting physical. Read.
But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them and shut the door.
So the angels, who look like men, pulled Lot back on in the house. Now you got these men on the outside pressing, trying to fight their way in. The men on the inside of the house pull Lot successfully back inside. Read.
And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness.
When they say they smote, they didn't say, get back. They start putting fists on them. Go ahead.
Both small and great, so that they were weary themselves to find the door. And the men said unto Lot, hast thou here any besides?
So hold on, let's go back to verse 11. And they smote the men that what?
And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness.
So, them angel punches was so nice that they was connecting and they couldn't. Oh! You ever had something happen to you or seen something happen to somebody and they get to freaking out? I can't see. Now, mind you, when I've seen that happen, because I've seen that happen, normally that's enough to have that person to stop. But unfortunately, I've also seen situations where something happens to somebody and they don't stop. These were the type, they were like, I can't see. Get that nigga, get him. I'm going to make it worth it. Read.
Both small and great, so that they were weary themselves to find the door.
Go ahead. So now they sitting up here, they can't even see, and they still looking for the door trying to get in. Because they said in their mind, the blindness don't take away the feeling. I can still do what I want to do. I ain't got to see it. I just want to feel.
Crazy.
But that's the type of lust that was in these men. Read.
And the men said unto Lot, hast thou here any besides? Son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out to this place.
So they said, we want more men. You got some more men? They didn't say you got some other daughters that's already married. We'll take them. They said, you got some son-in-laws. We want some young men's. I can't make this stuff up. It's in the Bible. Imagine what type of scene that must have looked like for these men. And they're like, where's some more men? Two ain't going to be enough for all of us. Half of them got hit and they blind and they still want some booty. This the Bible. I ain't saying no foul stuff. This the Bible. We got to deal with this. This in the Bible. Read.
For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Most High.
Hold on. We will destroy this place. In Salakia, let me pull that back because verse 12, I ended up going somewhere that I wasn't supposed to go. That wasn't the men outside asking about the son-in-law and the sons. All right, that was the men on the inside asking. So I had to pull that back. All right. So by the time we get to verse 13, for we will destroy this place. They're saying, look, we're here on a mission. Let me tell you what the mission is. Sodom, Gomorrah, and all of the cities surrounding, so wicked here that we were sent to destroy this place. And they told Lot, we came here because you good people. Who else you got with you? Go ahead.
Verse 13, for we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Most High. And the Most High hath sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get you up out of this place, for the Most High will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law.
So they was like, what you talking about, Pops? What? We about to destroy the city. Everything good. What you tripping off for? Man, nah, you don't understand. The Most High sent two men. They here. They about to destroy. How in the world are they going to destroy this whole place, Pop? I think you tripping. You probably, Pop, you had a little bit too much kaffa. I don't know about that. So they start saying, mocking him. You tripping. He's like, I'm not tripping. I'm telling you. These men are here to destroy this place. Read.
And when the morning arose, then the angels hasted Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy two daughters.
So mind you, though, the whole time this thing is going on, he not only had his two daughters, but he had his wife also in there. That's another thing to mention. At what point did Lot ever offer his wife? Why? Because is there any way that he could have offered his wife in righteousness? No. So did he offer his wife? So is he just this cold-hearted guy that don't care about the law and for some reason just care about manpower? And sometimes, man, you got to be careful. Bros over hoes, that mentality. You got to be careful because sometimes, we can be not balanced in a righteous way. Sometimes on the woman's side, I got to look out for my sisters regardless. We got to stick together. But it got to be in righteousness. Go ahead.
And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy two daughters which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city.
Go ahead.
And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his two daughters, the Most High being merciful unto him, and they brought him forth and set him without the city.
Uh-huh.
And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, Escape for thy life. Look not behind thee.
So now, these are instructions there that are being given to them. Escape for thy life. How would you word that in the language that you speak today? Okay. Run for your life. That was pretty simple. Everybody said it unanimously. Run for your. What does run for your life look like? Run for your life. Oh man, I left my wallet. Ain't no looking back. All right. So the angel said, escape for thy life. And then the next thing that he said was what?
Look not behind thee.
Look not behind thee. That's an instruction. That's a command. Don't look behind you. Run for your life. More specifically, don't look back. Read.
Neither stay thou in all thy plain, in all the plain.
Don't try to say, oh, if we just hide over here, we'd be good. He said, no, get out of here. Get into the mountains is what he told him. Read.
Stay thou in all the plain. Neither stay thou in all the plain.
No flat ground. Go ahead.
Escape to the mountain.
Escape to the mountain. Lest what?
Lest thou be consumed.
What's getting ready to hit is going to hit all of this flat land. You know, a lot of times Israelites, we like flat land. We don't necessarily like the mountainous, scene. Because we raise cattle, we did all the things that Hebrews do, right? He said, but get to the mountains. You'll be saved in the mountains. Leave this land. Read.
Lest thou be consumed. And Lot said unto them, O not so, my Lord. Behold now, thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life. And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me and I die.
So Lot said, you know what? I think that I found some mercy, the fact that I'm being saved in the first place. So instead of going to the mountain, can I go ahead?
I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me and I die. Behold now, this city is near to flee unto thee. This city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. Is it not a little one, and my soul shall live?
He said, because that city over there is not one of the big major cities where all of the foolishness has happened, where we tend to like to stay. He said, that ain't L.A. That ain't some of them bigger cities. He said, this one over here, we'll be able to, live without as much wickedness as what's going on in these places. Can you give allowance for us to go to this city? And the mountains is going to be rough. I don't know what type of animals we may encounter, especially after that type of destruction. Animals have instincts, and they tend to flee into the mountains for safety. And then you don't know what's up there, mountain lions, so on and so forth. And it would be better if we could go over here. Can we do that? Ready?
And he said unto him, See, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city for the which thou hast spoken.
So he said that particular city right there, you're right. As a matter of fact, I'll spare that city. Because you're right, that city is not as wicked as those cities. So I'll let you go off into that city. Read.
Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou be come thither. Therefore, the name of the city was called Zoar.
Hold on. What does that Zoar mean? I believe it means like that little one, that insignificant one. Talking about that city, it was such an insignificant, it wasn't a developed city. That little city over there, that insignificant city, Zoar, right?
Yep.
He said, I'll let you go to that city, right? Now, mind you, listen to the way it's worded. And he said unto him, See, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, Lot had a say. Lot had some level of respect. He had done enough to garner a certain level of respect to say, hey, can I do this? Because it's not always a situation where we're given that opportunity to say, well, God, can I technically do it this way? A lot of times we don't even ask God what can we can't and what can't we do. We just do as we will. Right? So the angel acknowledges, you know what, Lot, you solid enough. I'll make that adjustment for you. Not Lot's wife, but Lot. Right? Read.
23. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zoar.
Uh-huh.
Then the Most High rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Most High out of heaven.
Uh-huh. And it's crazy because archaeology today, they have archaeological evidence that those cities actually got hit with fire and brimstone. Go ahead. I don't even know if you got to dig. They say it's still, yeah. So you got evidence. This is not some story that's being fed to us. This was an event that has been shown to have actually happened. Read.
And he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities and that which grew upon the ground.
Uh-huh.
But his wife looked back from behind him.
Oh. But his wife did what?
His wife looked back from behind him.
His wife looked back from behind him. She looked back. What was the instruction of the angel? His wife looked back from behind him and what?
And she became a pillar of salt.
Now they actually say that there's an actual pillar of salt. Now when you look into this, you say, okay, a pillar of salt. A lot of us, we only know table salt. So we say, what a pillar of salt look like? Right? A pillar is something that we know that is stuck in one spot. So a pillar of salt. So there's the physicality of this pillar of salt. We know salt. Salt is meant to have a certain savor, right? Salt can be used to preserve things, right? Salt can also be used to kind of cleanse. A pillar of salt. Physically, we can grasp that. Spiritually, what is that? She looked back, and guess what happened? She lost the ability to do what? To move forward, to move on. Looking back. Doesn't matter that she was the salt of the earth. The Bible says that the children of Israel are the salt of the earth. A lot of us, we look at ourselves and we think so highly of ourselves. Sometimes too highly of ourselves. I don't know, you think like you're the most precious jewel that the Most High has ever created for some reason. But if the Most High decides to demobilize you. And you're no longer able to move forward in the spirit, then what? Now, we still can see her. From what I understand, you can go back to that land right now. You can go and see her. They got images if you Googled it. Y'all looking at the image back there? You can still see her. She wanted to be seen, I guess. Wanted to be a trophy. Just meditate on that for a second. Now, here's the thing. She looked back. They used to have a song in the bootleg church. Put your hand to the plow and don't look back. Put your hand to the plow. Doom, doom, boom, 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 boom. She looked back. And as a result of her looking back, she got stuck. I've heard people say, I look back in the world. I look back at my old life and I look back. Some of y'all know people that have said that. Go to the book of Luke, chapter 17. You know, there are people, they like just looking back. They like to look back. They don't focus as much on moving forward. They spend the majority of their time looking back. Luke chapter 17, and let's get verse 26. And we'll read 26 through 30. Is that right? Yeah, 26 through 33.
17:26.
Yep, 17:26.
The book of Luke, chapter 17. Turn me down. The book of Luke, chapter 17, and verse 26. And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man.
As it was in the days of Noah, so shall it also be in the days of the Son of Man. Read.
They did eat.
They did eat.
They drank.
They drank.
They married wives.
They married wives. They was all of these R&B hits that you still love. Sexual, all that stuff, that nostalgic stuff you still love. That R. Kelly, that ain't nothing wrong. All of that stuff that created the backdrop that you now know is 2025, right? They was doing all of that. Read.
They did eat. They drank. They married wives. They were given in marriage.
They were given in marriage. Go ahead.
Until the day that Noah entered into the ark.
And how were they given in marriage? Because they're like, okay, that sounds redundant. They married wives. They were given in marriage. There's a couple of ways to look at that. Is the woman or is the man being given in marriage in this? That happens. It can happen. Some men are being given in marriage. The type of marriages that involve two of the same thing. Now, you might have a situation where it's talking about the women being given in marriage. Well, how many times in the world have you had a situation where parents okayed this boyfriend? Now, you know, because we ain't stupid, right? Parents had to figure out at some point these wasn't just becoming boyfriend and girlfriend and nothing sexual was happening.
Prom night.
So you done with that one. Now you got this new one. Prom night, like you said. That's the whole history with prom. We got to deal with the reality of stuff, right? He said the same way it was happening back then, it'll be happening now. Read.
Until the day that Noah entered the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all.
Read.
Likewise, also, as it was in the days of Lot.
So now he says, not only like the days of Noah, he said, likewise, also as it was in the days of Lot. They what?
They did eat.
They was eating.
They drank.
They drank.
They bought.
They partied. They bought. They same way they buying right now. Go ahead.
They sold.
They sold.
They planted.
They planted.
They builded.
They builded.
But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all.
Wow. Now, mind you, listen up. Lot was the trigger. And now watch this. In our minds, the way we're taught and the things that we're entertained by, we have a certain level of security and feeling like we're the main character. You're so invested in being the main character that you don't have time to really find out who to even focus on. In that time, a lot of you guys would have been oblivious to a lot. And how do I know this? Because you're oblivious to the lot here a lot of times. You're not focused on Lot's life. You're focused on your life. Who gonna pay these bills? Lot ain't gonna come pay these bills. Who gonna take care of my needs? Lot ain't gonna come here and take care of my needs. Right or wrong? Lot was the trigger to all of that happening. Now, who was Lot? What type of man was Lot? He was at least righteous adjacent because we know that he's of the same family as Abraham. And he literally, a lot of times we talk about how Abraham left, but we don't speak enough and remember enough that Lot left with Abraham. Lot was a part of those men that Abraham trained. Abraham didn't have his own son until he was 86, I believe. So this was his son, so to speak. Lot left with Abraham to go and find the land, not really knowing all that it was that they were being sent to do, but just understanding that the God that would later be known as the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob was who he was committed to following, right? Where is Lot today? And where is Lot's wife? Read.
Verse 30. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. In that day, he which shall be upon the housetop and his stuff in the house, let him not come down to take it away. And he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back. Remember Lot's wife.
Ooh, that's a dagger. This is a scripture in the New Testament, and it says, remember. He said, look, don't think about going. All of these things that you value, I got to go back and do this. I got to go back and get that. I can't leave without this. Just give me 5 minutes. I can do it in 2 minutes. He said, the Bible says, don't do it. Remember Lot's wife. Verse 33.
Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it.
Listen. Whosoever shall seek to save his life, his or her life, shall lose it. Read.
And whoever shall lose his life shall preserve it.
And the opposite, whoever is willing to lose their life and be dedicated to what it is that the Most High says that we should be dedicated to, will preserve their life. So in essence, when we be talking about, I got to make it to heaven. Ooh, I got to make it to heaven. Oh, just don't know nothing else. I've done that. Ooh, I pray, oh, Lord, I got to make it to heaven. If you really understand the scripture, it's not about you got to make it. It's about whether or not you're willing to preserve it. You got the opportunity, but are you willing to preserve it? Or are you willing to squander your life trying to save the life that you got here, that you feel is so important? You want to have feelings and thoughts and foolishness and not follow suit, because you should be able to do things the way you feel that I just feel in my heart. I just feel. And does that make it okay? Should you just look, everybody has their own things. I have mine, and this is how I feel, and I just got to do it this way. You got to respect it. Sound like the Israelite community. You got to respect it. Well, this is just how I see it. Are you going to just follow Lot? Well, hold on. Let me think. Because I got to make sure that did Lot lock the door? Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it. Some of y'all, if you're not careful, you're going to lose your life trying to save somebody else's life that don't want to be saved. They had chosen a long time ago that they don't want to be saved. You sit up here fooling yourself talking about, I got to make it to the kingdom. Well, preserve it. Go from there. Stay in the book of Luke. Let's get chapter 14. Luke chapter 14, and let's start at verse 16. And we're going to read 16 through 35.
The book of Luke, chapter 14, and verse 16. Then said he unto him, a certain man made a great supper, and bade many, and sent his servant at supper time to say to them that were bidden, Come, for all things are now ready. And they all with one consent began to make excuse. The first said unto him, I have bought a piece of ground, and I must needs go and see it. I pray thee, have me excused. And another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I go to prove them. I pray thee, have me excused. And another said.
So hold on. People still buying land and buying houses and getting apartments today. People still buying, they might not buy too many oxen around our parts, but they buying vehicles. They buying toys. Read.
And another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come.
Whole lot of marrying going on. Whole lot of marrying. Go ahead.
So that servant came and showed his lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, Go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor, and the maimed, and the halt, and the blind. And the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded.
See, hold on. This is the thing that you got to understand. That we have a hard time believing. He says, so that servant came and showed his Lord these things. He said, look, this one right here, this was their excuse. This was his excuse. He said he got to do this, and that, so he ain't going to be able to make it. He said, what? I been had told him. They been knew we was having this feast. Like, why are they not going to make it? Well, I don't know, Lord. They said he got a new wife. He got some property. He got car he got to go see. He got, okay. Then the master of the house, being angry, some of y'all, you don't get it. Why was he so angry? If they just couldn't come, they just couldn't come. Like, it ain't no big deal. Think about it. Most High said, okay, I got this feast, this big feast coming. How far ahead do we know that the feast is coming? You know what? I ain't going to be able to make it. How do you think the Most High feel about it? And he's telling you, this is Christ talking. But we don't just do that with feasts. We do that with a lot of stuff. We begin to slowly but surely make all these different excuses of things that we got to tend to, things that we got to handle, that start to seem like they're more important than the things that the Most High commanded. Being angry, said to his servant, go out quickly into the streets and the lanes of the city and bring what? Bring in hither the poor and the maimed and the halt and the blind, the undesirables. Bring in the undesirables. Read.
Verse 22. And the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room.
He said, now I went out and I got, as many as I could find, and we still got room, Lord. What should I do? Read.
And the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled.
Go to the streets, hit the streets. Some of y'all, we don't just hit the streets. I know my nephew, he be excited. We gonna hit the streets. Yeah, we don't hit the streets for the tube. That's for YouTube. We hit the streets because guess what? He said, fill my house up. Fill my house up. Go find. I want to see my house full. Go ahead.
For I say unto you, that none of those men which were bidden shall taste of my supper.
Why you say that? Bidden means invited. All of those people that were invited, he said they not going to get another invitation. So this is Yahweh Shai speaking. And he's letting us know what? It's taken personal. When you put your business, your feelings, your thoughts before his agenda, his will, it's taken personal. Read.
Verse 25. And there went great multitudes with him, and he turned and said unto them, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple.
If he's not able to hate meaning what? I hate you, I'll kill. No, not hating that way. But when you look at the word hate and you get the etymology of the word and you dig into the actual meaning, hate, the root of it is rejection. If you're not willing to reject father, mother, wife, children, brethren, sisters, and yeah, even your own life. Because we, in this day and age, a lot of times most people put even beyond their father, beyond their mother, beyond their spouse, beyond their children, They put them beyond the bros and my sis, my girls. They put their lives, their feelings, their work before everything else. Right or wrong? He said, if you're not willing to reject those things, to make sure that you can do the things that are pleasing to the Most High in Christ, then guess what? Read.
And whosoever doth not bear his cross.
And that's another thing. Bearing what is bearing your cross? That actually happened physically so that we can understand the symbolism in it all. The cross that Christ had to bear on his back was what? It was what? Carry your cross. A cross is what's called a burden. It's heavy. To bear your cross. The very thing that was going to kill him, or be used, I should say, to kill him, is what he had to carry. A lot of us, we complain so much about carrying the things that are probably ultimately going to be utilized to kill us. Some of y'all, your job is probably going to be used to kill you. And you have such an issue carrying the relationships, the jobs, the feelings. You don't like carrying your cross. You complain about carrying, well, I just got so much going on. I got this, I got that. And whosoever doth not bear his cross, period, comma, and do what?
And come after me.
And shut up and still follow me. Stop waiting, wasting time and making excuses and stutter stepping. Shut up and follow. Come after me. She was supposed to follow after Lot. She was supposed to follow, listen, shut up. It ain't no time to save your life. If you're not willing to bear your cross. You ever been in a situation where you was running and you was talking? You start realizing that all this talking that I'm doing is making it harder for me to run. Some of you talk a whole lot better than you run, so you just stop running. You do a whole lot of walking and talking. You don't do a lot of running because you like to talk too much. Don't slow me down. Talk about, hold on. I got something to say. I'm going to get him on the next lap. And then somebody else said something. I think I was listening to a lyric from Nipsey. And basically, if I'm not mistaken, he said, you know, somebody see you behind them and they figure they're ahead of you. And he said, they don't realize I already lapped them. You already got lapped. A whole lot of us, we just don't get it. You like to talk too much. Bear your cross and follow. And if you're not able to bear your cross and follow, then you cannot be my disciple, my student. There's a lot of students focused on the wrong things. How you a student, but you want to stop the teacher every 5 minutes and tell the teacher, I want to make sure you're teaching that right. At what point is the teacher justified in telling you, I heard it, I didn't even have to say some of the stuff I heard. At what point should the teacher say, look, you stopping the flow of my class, you just being disruptive? And will you be offended if that has to be verbalized. 28.
For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? Lest happily, after he hath laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him, saying, This man began to build and was not able to finish. Or what king goeth to make war against another king?
What is this talking about? Because we read this in various different contexts. What is this talking about? He says, for which of you intending to build a tower? Now, your average everyday person doesn't go and build towers. Your average everyday person, a lot of y'all don't build mills on a daily basis. It's not a lot of great builders in the world, right? You don't find builders a dime a dozen anymore. For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? Lest, haply, after he have laid the foundation. How much does it cost to lay a foundation, Deacon? Costs quite a bit to lay a foundation, right? 'Cause this is a concrete man, right? Before you even talk about what it's going to cost to build a house, you got to have the foundation, right? Unless you doing a mobile option. But on an average, when you have a house that's being laid or built, you have to lay a foundation first. And it costs. After he have laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him. So what is this saying? That's not necessarily not right, because when you read the scripture, it does go into that. But contextually, after reading all of that and then him going into this, what's actually being said? Dig a little bit deeper for me. Technically, but it's something else. It's simple that's being conveyed right here. What is it? I'm going to give somebody one more chance. Think first. Think before you get this answer. All right, who want to try? Last one. Who want to give it a try? One last one. I see it in your eyes. Can I go ahead and try? I know you. Verse 28. For which of you should say it all? Why would he start off for which of you? What he's saying is it's simple. Everybody knows. By the time somebody is talking about building a tower, they're not going in without a plan, without preparing, without making sure they have all the things. Deciding to build a tower is not a spur of the moment decision. By the time a person has committed themselves to building a tower, everybody should know that we can expect that they've done the work in planning and preparing. Does that make sense? So that's what he's saying right here. This is still Christ talking. For which of you intending to build a tower, not a box, but a tower. So by the time you got a person that's building a tower and you like, wait, hold on. Did you take into thought that you got to have bricks for that tower? Did you take into thought that you got to have mortar? The person's going to be like, what kind of idiot do you play me for? Like, I'm building a tower. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm building a tower. as a leader. Well, hold on. I'm building a nation. Well, I just want to make sure. Building a nation. How far are you into that build? Because you start learning stuff as you build stuff, especially when you do it yourself, right? It's a whole lot of things you learn. But everybody, for the most part, should have the sense to know if any person decides that they're going to build a tower, that you best be sure that they're going to dot their I's and cross their T's, so to speak. Then it goes into the fact that 29, if for whatever reason somebody slips through the crack and you don't, and we'll see it, everybody will see it. Nobody has to ask you. We'll see it. And people will laugh and mock you because they were like, what were you thinking? Now, you do know those people that you've probably said, like, what were you thinking? But you can't assume that everybody's like that, because if somebody has such an undertaking, chances are they've done the work. Verse 30.
Saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish.
Go ahead.
Or what king?
So now, hold on. You went from just a common person who's not so common. This is a builder. Listen, you don't wake up every day, even back then, and say, hey, I'm going to build a tower. You may wake up and say, I'm going to build my house. But to say I'm going to build a tower is not for any average Joe, right? Now we take it up. In verse 31, it says, or what king? What king what?
What king, going to make war against another king, sitteth not down first, and consulteth whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000?
So being a king, you better, there's an expectation that you have some knowledge of war, that you have advisors. That's another thing. It's not just the king. It's the king's team. It's the king's staff. By the time I'm just some random citizen and I say, hey, king, I don't know, you thinking about making war? Hold on. Did you consider what may you hear from the king? Is the king going to stop what he's doing and preparing for the war to talk to you? And how will his staff feel? You say, hey, look, man, I know you got staff and you got advisors, but this is what you should do.
They're going to say, seize him.
This is how beautiful the Bible is. And this is Christ. This is how beautiful the wisdom of Christ is. Or what king going to make war against another king sitteth not down first and consulteth? Did you consult with anybody, king, before you decided to? Whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000. Read.
Or else, while the other is yet a great way off, he sendeth an embassage and desireth conditions of peace. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple.
So what are we talking about here? So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple. Kings put in the work to be kings. Builders put in the work to be builders. Right? Leaders have to put in the work to be leaders. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple, meaning what? See, y'all have a concept of school according to all the things that you've experienced in your lifetime. That's what school looks like to you. That's not what school is or ever has been. Are you listening to what I'm saying? To be a student was to be a disciple. It wasn't, okay, every day at 8 o'clock, the bell is going to ring and it's time to go to class. That's not what school ever looked like. Because Yahweh Shai was a teacher and he had disciples, which are students. And the type of commitment that was expected of his disciples was what we're talking about right here. If you're going to be a disciple, a student of mine, follow me. Trust me. Listen. Be loyal. Learn. How am I teaching you? But you teaching me and you stopping me. Not saying that a teacher can't learn anything from a student. That's not what we're saying. But what's the nature of the relationship? If the teacher is the teacher and the student is the student. Everybody might not like what I'm saying, but guess what? Maybe you're not no good student. Read.
Verse 33. Verse 34.
Yeah.
Salt is good.
Salt is good. But
if the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be seasoned?
See, some of y'all, man, you have flavor. We saw it in you a long time ago. But when you come into this thing called the truth, and then all of a sudden, yeah, you get jaded. We knew you had all kind of flavor. Now all of a sudden, you don't want to sprinkle. You just want to stay still. You want to be hard and to yourself, and you want to only do what it is that you want to do. Then what a good is it to have you? Verse 35.
It is neither fit for the land, nor yet for the dunghill.
See, it's not fit for the land. It's not even fit for a pile of boo-boo. Useless. I know a lot of y'all, you feel a way about that. But it's true. If you're salt and you're not a team player, because salt is an ingredient. The Bible talks about anything you cook, sprinkle a little bit of salt. Because that salt, especially, see, we eat so much salt that we don't appreciate salt. And it's bread full of salt, you just, because you grabbing it out of convenience, you never know. And then when you finally start having to be restricted from how much salt you're consuming because you've done damage to your body, and you don't just take something that they've just cooked salt into and it's processed, where you can't even taste all the salt that's in there. But then you look at it, it's like, 250 milligrams of salt. What? Where's the salt at? I was eating this for sweetness. And it's full of salt. Somebody know, because somebody got high blood pressure in here. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all looking to see some high blood pressure. Here's the thing. Then you realize, this is what was crazy to me when I realized, cook it without salt. Sprinkle just a little bit of salt on the top and a flavor burst. I can tell. So all that salt wasn't even necessary? Then you start making the proper adjustments with your body and you start realizing, dang, this is salty. But what good is the salt if the salt has lost its savor? You don't want to play your part as the salt. And we're not asking you to give everything. Just give a little here, a little there. That's all we asking. Nah, I'm just not feeling it, and I just gotta look out for me. I gotta look out for my soul. Somebody gonna be mad at me, nigga. You wicked. Call a spade a spade. I try to play nice, but I gotta call a spade a spade. And y'all gotta understand, man. I got a spirit that I gotta be careful of too. I gotta make sure that you don't make me do what Moses did. I don't want to hit that rock out of frustration. So I gotta. Was that all of that? Verse 35.
It is neither fit for the land, nor yet for the dunghill, but man cast it out. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear.
So everybody ain't got ears to hear this. They don't want to hear this. This nigga desire wine. Here you go talking again, making himself. See, the nigga called himself Moses. Genesis chapter 16. Genesis chapter 16. Let's start at verse 1.
Genesis chapter 16 and verse 1.
Yep.
Now Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had a handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarai said unto Abram, Behold now, the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her.
Hold on. These are some of the things that you probably never thought of. A handmaid. Was it customary for women to go and pick a woman their age or older than them as their handmaid? They would go and get a younger woman as a handmaid. Some of the simple things that happens when we're the same age or you're older than me and I'm in authority, you're my handmaid, meaning the job of a handmaid is to do what? To serve. You're my servant. With your hands, you're there to do the things that I would will you to do. That's what a handmaid is. We're probably going to have problems a lot sooner. So it made more sense to have a younger woman who you could coach, who you could get on if you need to get on them. Hagar was not the age of Abraham and Sarah. This young little Egyptian woman. I don't know if she was little, but this young Egyptian woman. Sarai at the time, she says, look, I'm older. I'm in my late 70s, early 80s. Man, maybe I need to have a wife through this young maiden. I'm going to give her to my husband. Now, I know that ain't, that ain't what you see on Tubi today. Like, no, not me. I wouldn't do that. Shoot, he ain't. Shoot, he gonna be mess around and be liking her more than he like me. We can't go there. We can't do that. Read.
And it says, and Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai. And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian.
So hold on. Let's read verse 2 again, please.
Verse 2. And Sarai said unto Abram.
Who?
And Sarai said unto Abram.
Sarai, Abraham's wife, an older woman, said to her husband, Abraham or Abram, she said to him, not he said to her. She said to him. Are you listening? Read.
Behold now, the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee.
What does that mean? The Lord has restrained me from bearing. I haven't been able to have a child. So, go ahead.
I pray thee, go in unto my maid.
Go in, meaning go have relations, sexual relations, with my handmaid, this younger woman. Read.
It may be that I may obtain children by her.
It may be that the children that I desire to have because my husband wants and he needs. That was a big thing amongst the Israelites. He needs an heir. It may be that I get children through her. So take this young maid. Read.
And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai.
And he listened to her. He said, "Oh, you sure? All right." Read.
And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian.
Okay. Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian. Read.
After Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan. And gave her to her husband, Abram, to be his wife.
Gave her handmaid and said, look, because that's what a concubine is. A concubine is a wife. Even though it's a wife that's subordinate to an Israelite woman that is a wife, nevertheless, she was still his wife. Gave a woman, a younger woman, to be his wife. Boy, it tells you how times have changed. But the word hasn't. Listen, read.
And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived...
Listen up. Go ahead.
And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes.
Her mistress was despised in her eyes. When I first read this years ago, I really didn't get it off top. It seemed like just reading that, like all of a sudden she just felt the way. And it wasn't warranted. Sarai wasn't warranted. All of a sudden she just got jealous. Like, that ain't cool. You the one that said he could do it in the first place. Now you're mad. It seemed like, but that wasn't the case. Let's read on.
And Sarai said unto Abram, my wrong be upon thee.
Wait, hold on. Who said this?
Sarai.
Sarai said unto who?
Abram.
What'd she say?
My wrong be upon thee.
Listen, my wrong be upon thee, meaning what? There's accountability there. She said, I made a mistake. Because when you read this story, you begin to understand that wasn't what the Most High necessarily commissioned. It's not always about what the Most High wants and he doesn't want, right? But it's more about sticking to the script. What is the Most High getting ready to do? He was never going to use Hagar to produce Isaac. Now, you made the decision and said, because you, in your thoughts, this is probably how it's going to be. Okay, well, live with that. But see, the difference between, and this is why Sarah does have a good name in the scriptures. She's not like a lot of the women today that struggle to have a good name. Because in this moment, there's accountability. She said, you know what? My heir be upon my husband. Because I asked for this. And it wasn't that she just felt the way. There began to be situations that were happening that caused her to say this wasn't the best idea. And let's read and find out what that was. Read.
And Sarai said unto Abram, my wrong be upon thee. I have given my maid into thy bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes.
That was the issue. Because that's what sometimes women, especially younger women, have the propensity to do. And it wasn't that she was just this young woman. She was this young woman of another nation that happened to originally be the handmaid of Sarah, to even be put in a position, because we don't look at it like this. Today, they just a bunch of niggas. Back then, Abraham was something. That's holy seed. That's not just something to get in your fabrics and go wash out. Hate to be too graphic, but I got to do that to make it make sense. Because a lot of us, we just look at it as disregard. It's just another. He wasn't just another nigga. For Sarah to say, look, I'm going to allow for you to bring forth seed of my husband, who is this great man that the Most High is dealing with, that's a big deal. If only we can get back the mind of Sarah like the scriptures talk about in the New Testament, we'd actually be able to get somewhere with building this nation and getting back home. But niggas don't think like that. It became a situation where the young chick, now I'm on another level. You sitting up here like I'm the one below you, but now, B, you below me. I'm the one with the baby. Read.
When she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. The Lord judged between me and thee. But Abram said unto Sarai, Behold, thy maid is in thy hand. Do to her as it pleaseth thee.
And you know Hagar say, what? I'm your wife too. I got your baby. What you mean she can do to me as she, what? Backfire. Nah, this ain't gonna work. Abraham, you know your baby hungry. You can't have me. Come on, you can't have me. I'm carrying this baby for you. You know I can't be having no too much emotional distress and read.
And when Sarai dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. And the angel of the Lord found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness.
Why did Sarai? Because see, these ain't talking about 2025 Israelite women. You know, this is like this way back when, and Sarai didn't get mad because she got pregnant. She the one that facilitated it. She started having a problem because Hagar did what? She got disrespectful. She started feeling entitled. She got big-headed. She, got puffed up. So Sarai said, look, little chick, I'm the one, this me and my husband. She didn't like that, so she do with a lot. She's a runner. What is it? Huh? Oh, y'all know them songs. Let me speaking to y'all soul. That was me! Ah! Go ahead.
Verse 7. And the angel of the Lord found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's maid, whence camest thou, and whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarai. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Return to thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands.
Listen, man, you got to listen to the story. Everybody tell this story, and they be telling this story all jacked up. They leave a lot of details out. She ran away. Angel encountered the angel. The angel said, where you going? Oh, I'm trying to get away. Go back home and submit yourself. Submit yourself. Read.
And the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction.
That's what it is. Yashemai Allah. He hears. The Lord God hears your affliction. Read.
And he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man.
Now listen to the prophecy. Wild turn of events. Verse 12. Listen to what it says. Read.
And he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren.
This is going to be his character. Why? Why? Why does he turn out like this? Why does he turn out like this? Read.
And she called the name of the Lord that spake unto her. Thou God seest me. For she said, Have I also here looked after him that seeth me? Wherefore the well was called Bir Lahai Roy. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered. And Hagar bare Abram a son, And Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare, Ishmael. And Abram was 86 years old
86 years old.
when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram.
Chapter 17 and verse 15.
Verse 15. And God said unto Abram, As for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. And I will bless her, and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her.
So now, if she would have just waited, we're going to find out how many years. If she would have just been patient, if she would have just, waited on the Most High. Read.
Then Abram fell upon his face and laughed, and said in his heart, Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old?
So that gives you some perspective. He was 86 when Isaac was born. I'm not Isaac, Salakia. Ishmael was born. Now he's what? 100. Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old, meaning he was either 100 or getting ready to turn 100. Right? Which also is a nod to something else because obviously they acknowledged birthdays for him to remember. Because me as an older person, and I'm only 45, you ask me on any given day when is my birthday and how old I am, I may pause. Because it's very easy to kind of lose track. They understood I'm turning this age this year. Some of the stuff that it's crazy, some of the things that people teach, but then they'll say, oh, but a birthday, you can't acknowledge, you can't. Relax. Read.
Then Abram fell upon his face and laughed, and said in his heart, Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, that is 90 years old, bear?
90 years old. So she wasn't a spring chicken. She's 90 now, getting ready to have a baby for the first time. And she's got this sister wife now who's much younger. And she's got this 13-year-old boy. Give it some perspective. Read.
And Abram said unto God, Oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac.
That's another thing, man. They make it seem like the Israelite man just has no care for their children. The Israelite man, in most cases, at least in the beginning, is the most rational in regards to that child. Not in every case. I don't get it twisted. But in a lot of cases. Abraham was like, this is my son. This is my firstborn son. And the Most High is talking to me and telling me what he's gotten. He ain't mentioned my firstborn son. I know according to the law, the firstborn gets a double portion of his inheritance of everything that he gets by law. That doesn't always necessarily mean that's how it, because the Most High gives the flexibility for that father to say, I need to do it this way. The same thing happened. It went from Reuben, passed up Simeon and Levi, and fell upon Judah, the fourth son. Right? But he's like, obviously, Abraham loves his son. Son, young guy, 13 years old. He's like, what about my son? Most High, you ain't got nothing planned for him? Read.
And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee.
He said, I heard you. I know you love Ishmael. I know you love that son. Read.
Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation.
He said, Abraham, because I got so much love for you, I'm going to still do great things for that son. But he's not the son. Read.
But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. And he left off talking with him, and God went up from Abraham. And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the selfsame day as God had said unto him. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old.
13 years old. Abraham 99. That's why he was like at 100 years old. I'm supposed to have another child. 13, 14-year difference between the children. Read.
And Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And the selfsame day was Abraham circumcised, and Ishmael his son, and all the men of his house born up.
That was all I needed from that. And we're going to continue with a part 2 next week, but it won't be called the same thing. But here's the thing. I'll give you a precursor. 13 years old. It's me and my pops. We hanging tough. I love my dad. My dad loves me. And everything's getting ready to change because he's got another son coming. This son is going to be the special son. What about me? Remember that prophecy, he's going to be this. He got daddy issues. He got abandonment issues. Wait till you hear what happens next week. All of that to say Lot's wife. Last thing I'll say, and then I'll let you go. Lot's wife. Because you probably wonder, why did I call it Lot's wife if I was going to talk about a number of different scenarios? The common thing is the wife. Whether it was Lot's wife or Sarah, Hagar. You got to understand, the Most High, when you read this word, it was always a thing of that woman. She was supposed to follow that man. It shows what happens when the woman follows and when she doesn't follow. And we'll talk about it more next week. All praise be to the Heavenly Father.
If it wasn't for the Most High who was on my side, man, ain't no telling where I'd be. Mr. Wilson would've known. Can't nobody tell me nothing different. The Father's been good to me. So good to me. Yeah. Wave your hands if you feel me. I'm a witness. Yahweh's been good to me. So good to me. Every morning that I rise, I thank Yahweh that I'm living. Keep my enemies at bay and never leave without my fringes. 1611 with me cause I'm on a mission. Talking sheep, I pay the cost, me and my lines really living.